Temporary homeless shelters set up in hotels and other facilities during the COVID pandemic are set to start closing this spring, with leases starting to expire. The city says it plans on expanding some, but the move raises the question on where people will end up going once again.
There's a little bit of rage that they are definitely shutting 2 hotels down. Or two of the temporary spaces down. There's going to be 300 people on the street in a month because there's no space in the shelter system for those people to go to.
8 years on Toronto streets, and Gru, as he likes to be known, doesn't want to go back. He and thousands of others without a place to live were given the shelter they needed in temporary spaces during this pandemic. But setups at the Better Living Centre and an old Days Inn hotel on Queen Street East will be closing in the next couple of months.
The problem here is that where are you going to put people? If you are eliminating spaces in the shelter system, where are you recreating new space? And the issue is that there is no good plan to do that.
231 beds at those 2 sites will no longer be available. The city has also said up to 3 more of the shelter hotel sites could also be decommissioned by the end of this year. 27 temporary locations were leased to try and provide space for up to 3,200 people, which right now amounts to 40% of the total space in the shelter system.
We are looking at the base shelter system to see where we could increase some of the bed capacity when conditions and guidelines for congregate settings change in the future. So we'll continue to work with public health on that.
City staff are proposing the leases on other sites be extended until the end of 2022. With the possibility of some until midway through 2024, as part of what's being called a gradual transition. Efforts to try and build permanent housing, including modular housing projects, are being made by the city, but advocates worry there's a significant gap.
The way that they're approaching this now is that, yes, they want to put people into housing, but the report even says the housing isn't available. If you don't have permanent housing available for every single person who's going to be in these decommissioned beds, you have a duty to let them stay where they are.
How many end up back on the street or sleeping in park encampments again is tough to say. Many living there certainly don't want to go back to the way they used to be.
Hands down, it's safer. Our shelter system is an absolute wreck. It is violent. It is filthy. It is generally disease-ridden.
Over the next year, city staff will be assessing shelter demand and any progress being made on permanent housing being built. City Council will debate the matter when it meets again in April. For City News, I'm Mark McAllister.